I'm here today in South Africa with the boys from Ultimate Exotics, Ralphie and Ralph. Bit of a mouthful that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today we're going to be learning so much about
African house snakes.
African house snakes. And why do we want to learn about that? Well, I think there's so many similarities with the Australian Antaresia species. And I tell you what, look at this thing right here. That's an amazing animal to start with.
So this is basically just your normal brown house snake. And yeah, we've done a lot of different mutations and color varieties in these, which we're going to have a look through now.
I mean, just as a normal snake, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think they're great. They've definitely been one of my favorites. And this actually was the first snake that I kept. I caught one in my garden, kept it as a pet, and that got the passion going, and it grew into what we've got going on today.
Absolutely amazing. And I've been told you're a bit of a hoarder, just like myself.
Yes, yeah. When it comes to mutations, yeah, it's hard to sell some of them, especially some of the beautiful babies that we breed. It's very hard to let them go.
Look at this. Just like Antaresia, they can be a little bit on the chewy side. But
yeah, so this is a T- albino brown house snake. They're very similar to the T positive and sometimes very hard to tell the difference. The red eye pupil is the giveaway on this, but because they're nocturnal, they have a vertical eye. So when the light's on, most of the time the slit is quite closed and it's hard to see. But it is a red eye pupil. And yeah, some of like our KZN localities, they've got a very nice defined pattern, like a high definition pattern, where some are almost patternless that we'll see just now. But this one's got a really awesome pattern.
That's absolutely insane. It's got that stripe down the back.
Show you the comparison.
Yeah.
Is that T-pods? I've got a better example here.
Oh, nice. It's the same problem I have sometimes, so many snakes. So basically when you guys first morph that came onto the market, well, the first morph that was found of these guys
Was a T negative albino, and I think at around the same time the harpo was found.
Okay, then.
And they were found in our sort of area here in KwaZulu-Natal by a local snake catcher.
So the hypo I think you showed me today was over here somewhere?
That's correct. Let's have a look at
Yep.
that.
Now for me, when I looked at this thing earlier today, I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's something similar to what I've been working on at home, and had it sitting in a cage for 15 years and really didn't pay much attention to it. But now I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to it.
Insane down there. It's like
Amazing. Has this sort of silvery sheen to it.
It was also called the blue house snake
Yep.
for quite a while because it's got like a slight blue hue to it. Some people call it a ghost. There's so much terminology that's used to identify them.
But yeah, with more breeding, we found out it was just a hypermelanistic mutation.
And that's a really calm one. Normally they're psychotic.
Yeah. Well, it's all about the bite, right?
Yeah, and there's a T-positive albino. So very similar to the T-neg, but just like the darker melanin coming through.
More of a caramel
More
looking.
of a caramel colour.
I mean, look how intense that colour is on that face. Look how bright those oranges are.
T-positive and a hyper. Yeah.
It's insane.
Pete, then you were speaking earlier about gene stacking.
Yep.
And how to go about it and where to go. So the next one that was made, we call it a harbino.
So that's the T-positive albino mixed with the hyper.
So just putting the T positive with the hypo.
With the hyper, yeah.
Yes,
So that's a double recessive.
Look at the way the colours are.
So it's very subtle, but you can see the difference between the two if you put them next to each other. So the hypo just kind of gives it that lighter colour.
Typically, what? Egg-laying species?
Egg-laying
Yes.
species,
Yeah,
and
egg-laying
they're quite
species.
prolific breeders. They love to lay, they love to eat. With the colour mutations though, it's not as rough as with the single gene animals and stuff like that. Like house snakes have always been known to be prolific breeders, but with the gene stackings and the mutations, you get a lot of infertility sometimes. Sometimes you get perfect clutches.
Yeah, this is a blue-eyed house snake. I think this might have also hypo in it. We're not entirely sure. You can see it's kind of like similar to like a lavender corn. It gives it like a lavender albino. It was first thought to be a leucistic, but then with more breeding, a leucistic you would expect a pure white snake.
Yeah.
With a black eye. This has actually got like a bluish eye with like a purpley grey body. So it's more like a lavender corn snake, and it's also a recessive mutation.
Wow.
And that's a male. You can see the males are a lot smaller than the females. That one is just over a year.
Wow. So how old do they take to reach sexual maturity?
So they can reach sexual maturity at about a year and a half, with males probably even taking as short as a year.
Is there a body weight preferred for females to reach sexual maturity? Or is it
we
actually
personally,
size?
yeah,
Just
we
gauge it
personally-
on what looks good to
Yeah,
go.
Okay.
age and size for us, yeah.
So they could breed at like a year and a half.
Yes, correct. If fed correctly.
Maybe quicker if you
Yeah.
fed them.
Yep.
They hold a meal down really well.
Wow.
So that's the blue R now mixed with the T negative albino.
That's
So here
a
we go. We're starting
T
to stack
minus
now.
albino blue R.
Pretty impressive. It's like a crimson colour sort of thing. So these guys are colubrate?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
See, the thing is, they're so similar to even children's pythons, like the head shape.
They've got a very python-like head
Very
shape.
close. You can
Yeah.
almost fake it being a children's python,
Yeah.
you know?
No, it's
So
amazing.
similar. Absolutely amazing colours. And the thing is, I guess, as the layering happens, all the weird stuff starts happening.
Exactly.
Correct.
Stripping
Yeah,
away,
stuff starts
adding, and all the
popping
rest of
up.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
So the green ones are like a dark olive thing, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
They are typical. This is a
Yeah,
nice.
That's a
that's
good
a nice
one,
one,
yeah.
yeah. And so that's just a straight single.
Yeah, so now the ones that we've been looking at are mostly the
Yep.
capensis. This is more fulliginosus.
So
Subspecies,
subspecies.
yeah.
From
more
higher up in Africa.
from higher up in Africa. And you can see how it has no pattern,
Yeah.
slightly different head shape. And we call that a Zambian green. It's got a beautiful green tinge to it.
It's got more of a snub nose of this guy. It's more like a,
Yeah,
probably a bit more corn snakey. Sort of
yeah,
look to
sure.
it.
Different shape. Okay, and then we have the Zambian green. You can keep that one there. And here's one with
With the harpo.
The
with
recessive
cytotoxic
Ah,
gene.
nice. So there again, stacking the
yeah.
stacking the genes and getting different results.
So that's we'll call a harpo green.
Yep. So when you guys were stacking genes, is there anything that you were anticipating that actually came through?
Well, this we did. So we wanted to prove that the harpo was a true harpo, and we would see a diluted green color when we produced it. The thing is that a lot of the harpos that we're working with had a very strong brown background. So on the first breeding, we had to make sure to select the greenest babies that were now 100% head harpo and breed them together to try and keep the green going through, because the green is like a selective thing.
So if you just
Traits.
took a green and put it to a harpo, you get almost like a
brown
brownie
babies.
mixed
Yeah.
baby.
And out of 20 babies, you would have just a few that were actually still showing the green significantly.
This is amazing. I mean, the possibilities are endless, the combinations. And it's still a work in progress.
Absolutely.
That's the most amazing thing.
yeah.
So here's one of the browner versions that would come out
Okay, yeah.
of the browner base that we were talking about.
So sometimes
that's
you get out of the same clutch. You can
Same
get these
makeup
two.
over there, but obviously polygenically this is the greener
And
animal.
we call that one the toffee.
Oh, nice. I mean, I like the shades. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's subtle in some, but quite extreme on others.
Yeah, and that's sort of like what we were talking today, the scale of 1 to 100. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Some are so subtle and some are the extreme version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the T minus albino version of the Zambian green.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But also with some patternless polygenic
Yeah.
breeding.
So there again, polygenics. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't give credit for
Selecting-
polygenics. Yeah.
Selecting the babies that have got the least amount of pattern.
yeah. And then some are more orange, and then some are more,
You took a proper one there.
Yeah, like a champ.
and then some are more yellow.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
And the orange would mean that the normal variety would be more brown, and this would be more green. The green in albino comes out more yellow, whereas the brown comes out more orange.
So what's the biggest surprise you've got?
Oh,
A good surprise.
We always talk about it that we don't get as many surprises as we like to with the quantities
Yeah.
of snakes that we breed.
No, that's what
Yeah.
happens, isn't it?
But there's a few gems that do pop out along the
Yeah,
way.
like the harpo green was probably a big one, and then the
That's
butters
gorgeous.
as well. The high pattern ones are
Yeah.
amazing.
Look at this.
Oh, that's good. And then I've got some nice Oreo stuff. The high pattern. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. And that's selective breeding now. That we call an Oreo, and we selective
that
breeding
high
that for
white face.
the pattern, the high white pattern. So look at how much pattern is on this body. It's like an extreme.
It's amazing. You've created some absolute amazing, beautiful living art. I think there was a peachy coloured one over here somewhere, wasn't there?
Yeah, so then now we can also look at the red butter. And that's taking one of those orange butters and mixing it now with the red, which is...
The KZN locality red. This is also a really good one. Look at this one's face.
Oh man, the colour on its face is super intense.
Yeah, and then there's the normal variety.
I mean, look at the base colour. That there's an attractive snake to start with.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a nice clean patternless base
Yeah.
as well.
So the pattern that's seen in here, what's brought this through?
So the albino would have brought the pattern.
Well,
back
Yeah,
through.
brought the pattern to the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense.
And
Look
where
how
this
intense
animal
that red
over
is.
here doesn't have as much pattern.
Yeah,
No.
the red coming through in the face is
Yeah, it's
amazing. Even in
incredible.
the eye stripe.
I mean, absolute gorgeous. I mean, I wouldn't complain if I get a children's python like that.
Yeah,
No,
You get them like this.
Even better.
Next level.
This is quite a new one. Rolf knows more about this one than I do.
Yeah, so this was a surprise. That came out of breeding from a red to a red, and we later proved it to be recessive. And basically what it is, it's an erythristic. So it kind of removes the brown but keeps the reds.
Yeah, it scales all.
Yeah, so we decided to call it ginger because it's a very similar thing that you see with tigers and that. And yeah, it came from reading just a red to red, and then these lighter reds came out that you've just taken almost the brown away in a sense. And it's made this like ginger color. Quite cool to see that.
It's just combinations. Keep trying each combination to see what
Yeah,
works.
something
and-
different comes out and then, work with it.
So these blue eyes, you got white blue-eyed ones, have you?
So they don't go white. They all stay like the white ones are the ones that are combined with the albino.
Okay, double combinations, yep.
But the other ones, they do get like progressively lighter, but they never go pure white.
Yep.
Like a greyish color. There's another blue eye there. That's an adult blue eye.
I think those look very similar. Yeah. But there's also often subtle differences that make the difference for the long term.
Yeah.
So you see a little spot of something or a slightly different shade of something, and that acts as your base colour.
Absolutely amazing. What's your favourite snake? What's the best one that you've got? What's the thing you're most proud of? Because everyone has that in their collection.
When you pull out the yellow butter, to me,
Yeah.
that's like one of the
Yeah,
best
it
looking
wild
things.
everyone.
But I don't know, these red T-minus butters lately have been some of the most exciting stuff. That eye and the head, it just...
Sometimes you get a little bit scared to name or give things names because of favouritism. Because
Yeah. Yeah, sure, look good. The females there.
It's fantastic.
You're getting excited.
I'm super excited.
Make some yellow.
I won't be able
children's
to. I won't be able to sleep now for weeks. My sleep pattern's just going to be destroyed. So when's nesting time for you or laying time?
We're just starting to pair now.
Oh, okay.
Just
So
started
yeah.
pairing, yeah. It's funny, they like go like a lighter brown. In the day, they're like very black, and then at
Yep.
night, they go...
They're still like a chocolate colour, aren't they, compared
Yeah.
to the others? And see, the thing is, especially for when I look at snakes, sometimes people look at these sort of things and they go, oh, it's ugly. But they don't understand sometimes you need the dark stuff to use in combinations to unleash
Some of the best
potential.
stuff.
That's right,
Correct,
the potentials. And I think that's the reason why sometimes, like, especially in the Australian hobby, it's always overlooked because it's dark or it's an ugly snake or there's something, it's not very attractive, but it's not that they understand the genetic capability of it once it's
Yeah.
hit in combinations.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still having a great time. I'm going to stay here for a lot longer, checking out house snakes. I'd like to say thanks to these guys here, Ultimate Exotics. Check them out. Where can they find you guys?
You
All
can
over
find
the
us
web,
on Instagram or Facebook. We're Ultimate Exotics Reptiles. Yeah, give us a follow. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming, Pete. It's awesome having you guys.
Yeah, it's been great to have you here.
No worries, guys. Thanks for watching CrittaCam.
Cheers. I got the bite.